Hello folks and welcome to my first live stream in quite some time, and for those of you watching on the replay, welcome to a video that is going to have an awful lot of information packed into the early part of it. If you are watching live, hello to you down in the chat. I'm going to get the ground rules out there nice and early on. I'm just making sure that my sound isn't feeding back through my computer. I don't think it is. Let's mute the sound on there just to be on the safe side. So yeah, ground rules and how this is going to work, because we have got a lot to cover in this live stream, and I want to have it structured so those people who are watching it on the replay can just watch the first part, get all the information, and they don't have to stick around for the Q&A live stream stuff at the end. So if you're only interested in the Q&A, there'll be timestamps for each section. Eventually, when this does become a video, I'll get it all timestamped up at the end. But for now, if you have got questions that you want me to answer in the Q&A, save them for the Q&A section, because at the moment I'm not doing them. I'm just going to go through the stuff that I need to talk about, and then I'll let you know when it's time to do Q&A. So if you're trying to get questions answered or trying to get my attention now, the mods will be after you, because we've got some stuff to cover. So the things, I mean, there's a clue in the title already, one of the things that we need to talk about, but I guess I'll try and do it in roughly chronological order. It has been an absolutely insane... What's it been? I mean, it's 12 days since I last held a camera and recorded anything for this channel, when we were sat down in London on the Sunday night, ready to come home. And we've been back over a week at this point, and pretty much as soon as we got back, things started to happen. Thing number one is Anna has now been offered a job. So I can't at this stage tell you what the job is. There's a possibility we might never be able to share what the job is. We've talked about it a little bit on my Twitch streams over the course of the week. There are reasons why I can't share what she's going to be doing. And the way we agreed to explain it to people on the Twitch stream, because I haven't told them over there what the job is either. But the simplest way for you to figure out why I can't tell you, you all know what degree she did. So based on what degree you know she did, you can probably have a pretty good idea of the kinds of jobs she's going to be moving into. She is going to be doing a job related to the degree that she's done. And because of that, I can't tell you what job she's going to be doing. I can't tell you where she's going to be doing it. And I can't tell you who she's going to be working for and what location she's going to be working at, or any of that kind of detail. Now, there might come a time where we can share a little bit more, but at the moment, we don't know. We have no idea what we can and can't share. She has been offered the job, but she's been offered the job subject to passing background checks, which involve things like a financial background check, a medical, like when you sign for a football club. So she's got an occupational health thing that she needs to be doing as well. There's going to be just referencing and checking up on social media stuff. And that's where there might be some real big impact on this channel, particularly because we don't know at the moment how they're going to feel about this channel. And as I've mentioned quite a few times over the years, this channel isn't the channel that we use to pay our bills. This channel is kind of the hobby extra. It's the channel that we do because it's fun to do and allows us to go and do lots of really cool stuff. But I've never considered myself a professional vlogger or a full-time vlogger. I make Football Manager gaming videos on YouTube, and I stream it on Twitch, and that's how I pay my bills. This channel is an extra thing that is fun to do, but not essential to us being able to pay our bills and live our life. So if they say they don't want Anna on this channel, two things are going to happen. Thing number one is I'm going to have to remove every single video that features Anna that's on the channel at the moment, which, as I'm sure you could probably work out for yourselves, is going to be like 80% of the videos at least. And they might have to come down. And if they do have to come down, they'll come down. And it's not worth giving up a job opportunity to keep a few videos up on a social media platform. But also, we don't know what the situation is with Anna being in the channel going forward. So we didn't want to sit recording a normal vlog this week just gone and then not be able to upload it. We certainly didn't want to record a vlog that involved Anna talking about this kind of stuff and then find out that her coming on the internet and talking about it then harms her chances of getting through those background checks. So for that reason, she's not here doing this part. You won't be seeing Anna on the vlogs for a little while. Basically, the only way you'll see her return in the videos is if she gets the all clear from this background check and from her new employer that it's okay for her to do. And even at that point, just for sort of safety and privacy and security reasons, even then, we're not going to tell you exactly what she's doing and exactly where she's doing it, because it's not something we feel the need to share. So off the back of that, one thing I can share is it's not in Peterborough. It's not where we live now. So we are going to have to move house as part of this. And we can tell you where we're going to move to, because you'll see that anyway. You'll figure that out. And I've shared that already. And we're probably, this isn't nailed down yet, because we're probably going to be moving to Leicester. Now, the job she's doing isn't actually in Leicester itself, but Leicester is the nearest place to where she's going to be working, kind of. There was a couple of options, but Leicester seemed like the best option that meets all our criteria of being near where she's going to be working, but also near the kind of facilities and amenities that I'm going to need. We're a one-car family. She doesn't drive at the moment. She is learning at the moment, but she's going to be needing to take the car out every day for her job. So I'm going to be at home with no car. So I don't want to be out in the sticks. I want to be somewhere where I can walk to the train station if I need to head down to London for work stuff. Or I can walk to the supermarket, or basically I want to be in walking distance of everything I could possibly need to do. So we don't want to be like right in a city centre, but there are some parts of Leicester that are quite nice, quite new, that are 2 or 3 miles away from the city centre. And we're looking at those kind of areas. Now, we haven't found a house yet because we don't yet have a start date for Anna's job. So we can't agree to move in somewhere until we've got the start date for the job. So once we get the start date, then we'll start to ramp up the whole house move thing. Now, obviously, when the house move does come, we're probably not going to show you the outside of the house, because we don't want you to know where we live. Those of you who've been around on the channel for a few years will know there was a time a few years ago where there was a couple of kids knocked on my door and asked me if I was a YouTuber. I want to be much more careful about this house and make sure that we don't leave any clues and we don't share where we're going to be living. So you'll know when we move, you'll see the inside of it. We'll do a house tour, all that kind of stuff, and you'll see the new house. What you won't do is see the outside of the new house or get any more detail other than the fact that it's in the Leicester area. Now, obviously, if you're local, you might be able to narrow it down a little bit by, I recognise that shape of kitchen. And if you do that, just don't share it when the time comes. Just try and respect our privacy a little bit, because it is important for Anna's job. We're the most ridiculous combination of professions that you could ever have. A guy who makes his money sharing his entire life on the internet, and a girl who isn't allowed to share anything and has to keep everything super secret. It's not a great combination, and we need to try and find a way to figure that out and make that work. So that's something we are going to be working on for the next few months. Other news. What I'm going to do next, I've got a few other points. I guess those points kind of tight. We're going to skip a couple and loop back round, because that stuff I've just said does link into what was going to be part 5, but I've moved up to part 3, which is what the channel is going to look like for the coming months off the back of this. And the honest answer is I don't know. While Anna's going through background checks, I'm not going to be featuring her in vlogs. So it's pretty hard to do vlogs without Anna being in them. So because of that, I'm not sure if there's going to be any vlogs for a little while. And these background checks could take up to 12 weeks. So it could be a little while. Now, it's not to say there's going to be no content on the channel for the next 12 weeks. It's just going to be the content might be a little bit different to what you've come to get used to over the last few years. And I don't really know what it's going to look like now. But I think it's important to get out there now that we all need to lose the mindset of weekly vlog, daily vlog, videos out every Monday at 5 o'clock. All that stuff for the time being is off the table. I'd like to think it'll come back when we're able to bring it back and we can get some kind of schedule in place again and we can get some kind of routine in place again. But for now, because of the fact that we've got Anna going through a job change, Anna learning to drive, me, well, but all of us trying to prepare for a house move. I've got a skip on my driveway at the moment. I'm partway through filling a skip with junk outside, with junk from in our house, so we're ready to move. We're super busy, so it's going to be hard to find the time to make these videos. And also they're going to be very different when they come out. But I'm not going to forget you guys exist. There is going to be content on this channel. I just don't know exactly when, how, what it's going to look like. You're just going to have to bear with me a little bit. If you want more regular updates, your best bet is to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. Check in on my Twitch streams. I stream on Twitch 4 nights a week. Any of those places are a good place to check in with me. And just, if you want to ask what's happening and what's going on, that's fine. If you continue to ask me, is there a vlog this Monday at 5 o'clock? I'll have to ask you to stop at some point, because I'm telling you now, there won't be a vlog on Monday at 5 o'clock. I don't know when the next Monday vlog will be. We'll bring them back as soon as we can. And there's, like I say, it's the reality of the situation. Anna's starting her career now, and it's a very sensitive career. And because of that, this has to take a backseat to the more important, like, real life stuff that we've got going on. So that's the channel stuff. And then a couple of the other things that I know you're all going to want to talk about. Back to school. 2 of them are going back to school. Obviously, Lucy is going into her 2nd year of university. But Amy went back to school today, so she is back. And this isn't the place, really, to talk about the lack of social distancing and the lack of insisting that they wear masks that they had in her school. But from talking to her, it seems like it's been a little bit of a not how it was advertised, which is a little bit of a problem. But Andy's back at school on Monday, and we are sending him in. The plan is for him to be there. We've been doing a lot of work with him to try and get him back into school. We've got his timetable. We've been speaking to his new teacher. We've been breaking it all down with him. He still doesn't want to go, but we're now back very much in the mindset we were in 3 years ago when we were at this point of, it doesn't really matter if he wants to go or not. We're now at the point where he goes back. Throughout lockdown and all that kind of stuff, we were always in 2 minds about it, and we kind of let him lead on that. So he's not been at school very much for the last 6 months, kind of since February, March time. He's not really been involved in school. He's gone in a couple of times, but that's about it. And when he said he doesn't want to go, we've kept him off and let him lead on that. But as of Monday, he is back at school. At the moment, I'm maybe 50% sure he's going to get on the bus when that arrives, and 50% it's going to be a battle. I'm going to have to get him in the car. We're going to have to get him in later in the day. We might battle all day Monday and then get him in Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it might be. But bottom line, we are going to be getting him back to school next week, and he will be back at school. And I will probably make a video about it, and it will be out at some point. But it's going to be a slightly different style to a typical back to school video, because obviously he's not going to be able to include Anna. So we'll figure out how we're going to do that video, but I will let you know how we get on with getting Andy back to school. But yes, the plan is he's back to school on Monday. He's going back to the same school he's been at for the last 5 years. He is officially in their 6th form now. So he's got the next 3 years where he would be in their academy level stuff. But obviously, as and when we move house, he's going to have to move schools anyway. So at that point, we'll look to move him to a school nearer where we're going to be living and work out what that means and what level he'll be in there. So it's kind of just it's very much a temporary thing. Let's get him back to school for as long as we're still in Peterborough for. And then whether we're moving next month or, 12 months plus a 1 month notice period, it could be as late as like January, February next year when she actually starts the job and we move. So he could still get a full term in at this school and then in January start at his new school. Maybe. It's all very much up in the air at the moment, but the plan is very much get him into school on Monday. And then the last point before I start answering questions and doing the Q&A, and we did go to his, well, we didn't go. We had a Zoom session with his psychiatrist this week at CAMHS. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll have already seen the amount of frustration that we had off the back of that. But to summarize quickly what was said there, after 5 years of being told, oh, that's not fair. 5 years ago, we asked, when he was first referred to CAMHS, we asked, has he got ADHD or is it just autism? And they said at the time he might have ADHD, but we'll never look into it because he's diagnosed with autism. It's a comorbid condition. There's lots of overlapping symptoms. He'd never get diagnosed with ADHD, so we're never going to explore it. We're not going to look into it any further. So we left it there. Maybe we shouldn't have done, but we left it there. This meeting started on Wednesday with his psychiatrist saying, based on this report that I've had from school, it's pretty clear he doesn't have anxiety, he has ADHD. Yeah, we told you that 5 years ago. But then this guy now thinks he's got ADHD and is referring him for investigation for that. The issue with that is because he's now 16, an ADHD diagnosis for someone of his age is done by the community pediatrics team, and they don't take on new patients who are older than 16 and a half. He's 16 and 2 months now. So it's got 4 months to get through to the community pediatrician. Otherwise, it will just get bounced back when it gets to them. And the guy said it takes 6 to 9 months to get the referral. So he's sat there on the call, said, we're pretty sure he's got ADHD. He probably needs medication and treatment for his ADHD, and that will help with the meltdowns and the other issues that he's having. And there was a lot of discussion about demand avoidance and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, bottom line, he's getting an ADHD referral, but it's being referred in the knowledge that it's going to get bounced back. And this time next year, probably, we're going to have to refer him again in a new city with a new psychiatrist as an adult to try and get an ADHD diagnosis then. And there's every chance that when we do that, they'll say, nah, there's no point. He's an adult now. He's diagnosed with autism. What's the benefit of him getting an ADHD diagnosis as well? Which is the brick wall we were up against 5 years ago. So it's frustrating that it took so long to get someone to actually confirm he displays ADHD symptoms, and double frustrating that now it's almost like a cop-out referral. He's like, yeah, maybe it was that. I want to make sure that I have on my notes that I referred him for it in case anything happens later. But I know full well it's not going to go through a referral. And it was so frustrating, so very frustrating. But that was the CAMHS session. That was it. The guy is convinced he doesn't have any anxiety at all, although he did agree to increase his anxiety medication. So all he's got is a slightly higher dose of fluoxetine. And we've been told to just get him back into school because him refusing to go is demand avoidance, not anxiety. And the fact he doesn't like school is ADHD and not anxiety. But he offered nothing to help us deal with demand avoidance or ADHD other than an ADHD referral. And you should probably do some reading about demand avoidance. Thanks, psychiatrist. That was a big help. So, to summarise, before we open things up to the questions, and for those of you who arrived in the stream late, if you're wondering why I'm ignoring you, I did say at the start of the stream, I just wanted to get everything out up front, and then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A off the back of it. So just to recap what we've covered, Anna has a job. She's going through background checks. It will take anywhere up to 12 weeks. So she'll be starting her new job anytime between mid-October and mid-February. It could be any time between them. When she does start, we need to move. We'll be moving to the Leicester area. And that'll obviously involve Andy moving schools and changing paediatricians and respite and social worker and all that kind of stuff. We are going to be sending him back to school, to his previous school this September, because it's important that he goes back to school now. He's been at home too long and he's becoming very, very dependent on Anna again, like he was 3 or 4 years ago. And CAMHS are as useless as ever. There's your summary. Thank you for being patient with me. Let's jump into the Q&A. As ever, when we do this Q&A stuff, I will ask a couple of things from you. Firstly, I don't know how many people are here. There's 1,200 people watching right now. So obviously I'm not going to be able to answer every question. If you have got a question for me, I'll ask that you only ask it once. You don't spam the chat with it. The mods are doing a fantastic job. I can see what they're up to. So if you're spamming the chat with the question over and over again, the mods will just time you out because that just spoils the experience for everybody else. So if you do have a question, if you at Kevin Chapman, it flashes up in red on my screen, makes it a little bit easier for me to see. And as ever, when I do these live streams, if you want to absolutely guarantee you get a question answered, the way to do that is through Super Chat, because I always promise and make sure I follow through on answering any questions that are coming via Super Chat. As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to support me with some cold hard cash, I'm going to make sure that you jump the queue. And I think that's fair. So there is a Super Chat that came in while I was talking. It's from Caitlin. Thank you for the Super Chat, Caitlin. Caitlin says, hi, love your channel. Hope everything works well with you moving house. Thank you very much, Caitlin. And now I'm going to jump in and pick some of these questions out of this chat. I'm not sure how long we're going to do the how long we're going to do the Q&A for. We're probably going to keep going until I burn out on it. So what happens if she starts and you haven't moved? Will she get the train? That is a very good question. Me and Anna were talking about this today. That's not really an option because we've looked into the public transport way of getting there. And for her to use public transport to get there, she'd have to get the bus into Peterborough to get on the train. So that's 30 minutes straight away. It's then, I think, an hour or so on the train to get into Leicester. It might be less than that. But then from Leicester, it would be 2 more buses to get where she needs to be and then a 20-minute walk. So it's about a 2-hour trip for her to use public transport to get there. So I hope we won't get in the situation where we haven't moved when she starts the job, because we're prepping the house now. Like I say, we've got a skip on the driveway. We're getting rid of all our junk now. Once the junk is gone, we are going to start packing things up, even though we've not found a house yet. And the plan is that as soon as she gets a start date and hands in her notice at the co-op, that gives us a month. We've got a ticking clock of a month. As long as we can find somewhere in that month, we're only going to be renting initially. So we just need to find somewhere in the right sort of area that we can sign a 6-month tenancy on and just move within that month. If we don't manage to do it in time, we'll probably put her in an Airbnb over there, and me and Andy will stay here while we wait to find somewhere. But that'll be like a last-ditch temporary thing. But it would be better than using public transport. You say Anna might not be able to be on your channel. What about Andy's channel? Will he have to delete his vids? If she's in them, yeah, which could be problematic. I hadn't even thought of that. There's so much stuff I haven't even thought about yet, and that is a great point that I hadn't even considered. Sugar Wife, thanks for the super chat. Says Kevin, how are you? Cute shirt from Canada. I assume you mean cute shirt. I'm from Canada because it's not from Canada. I know what you mean. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. And Joel Morris is in with a super chat as well. How's Andy coped with being back at school? He doesn't go back until Monday, so he doesn't want to go, but we are preparing him for it. Right, let's pick out a couple more questions from this chat. Have we told Andy? No, we're not going to tell him until we can actually give him actual facts. I mean, he'll have overheard conversations, so he'll be vaguely aware of what's going on. But if we tell him we're moving house, rightly, his first question will be where and when, and we can't answer either of those questions yet. So for now, we're not telling him. As soon as we have found a house and we know when we're moving into it, that's when we'll tell him. Right, that's Ben. Thank you Ben Thickbroom. Thank you very much for the super chat. Will Andy know about Anna's job or not in case he talks? He doesn't know what I do as a job. He doesn't know what Anna does as a job now. He's aware she goes to work, but that's only because we pick her up. He doesn't need to know the details, and he wouldn't listen or understand the details anyway. Fiona asks, why wait for a start date to move? I'm just curious. Mainly because we need the money. Well, we need the money from her job at the co-op. Like, if she's not there until let's say we move now and she doesn't start until the latest point, which would be mid-February, we've got to go through September, October, November, December, January, like 5 months of Anna not working at all, and us paying a higher rent on a new house that's in a new area, and there's no real point in us being there because she's not working yet. So until we know, at the back of both of our minds, I think we're both thinking we're like 95% sure these background checks are going to be fine. But what if they don't like the social media stuff we've done? What if that's enough for them to not give her the job? And if that's the case, then we don't want to have moved house only to then have to move again because she's got to apply for another job again. And meanwhile, she's quit the co-op and it'll be a whole big mess. So it just makes sense to do it all in the right orders. It's not set in stone until she's through the background checks. Right, let's find some more. There's so many questions coming in. Anything on my ASD assessment? No, it's completely back burner for now. And again, because we're moving house, I guess I'm going to have to start again in the new place. I assume that's how it works. So once we've got through COVID and once we've moved to the new place, then I'll go into the doctors and say, hi, about 4 years ago, I started on a diagnosis journey that kind of stopped because of everything that went on. Can we start again, please? So yeah, that's kind of not happening at the moment. We've got a couple more super chats that have come in. Hassa NUFC, thank you. Does Andy like an electric train set? He's never really had one. He's had non-electric train sets, which he quite likes. And he likes the train sets at Legoland and stuff like that. But I don't think he's ever had an electric one. Quite frankly, at the moment, we've got nowhere we could put one. The house is too small. Blake, thanks for the super chat. How am I going to see the girls? The same way most divorced dads see their kids. They'll just come over every other weekend. I'll probably spend more time with them than I do now. Because I get Amy one night a week at the moment. And 2 weekends a month is better than one night a week. So it'll end up better. Plus, it will have a bigger house. It'll be a nicer house. In an ideal world, there'll be a room for Lucy and Owen to come and stay in if they want to come over as well. Leicester's only an hour away from Peterborough. It's not like we're moving to the other side of the earth. There'll be plenty of opportunity for me to see the girls still. Josepho M, thanks for the super chat. Moving house is stressful. Here's £2. Grab a coffee. Thank you. That is much appreciated. We haven't even started and it's already stressful. I spent an hour this afternoon putting the first few bits in this skip, and just that started a little bit of a row between me and Anna because we can't agree on what stuff we're chucking and what stuff we're keeping. I'm of a view of I want to chuck away like 80% of the stuff we own and start with a blank canvas in the new place. Whereas Anna, being a sensible adult, thinks we should wait until we found a house, see what stuff we can take with us and how it would fit, then chuck stuff away, and then add extra bits if we need to. Her way is obviously better, but I'm not going to say that to her. I'm going to stick my ground. Tom DeLong, thank you very much for the £1. Tim Silver, thank you for your super chat as well. And Lucy Collins, thank you for the super chat. Love to see Anna get the job if it means no vids. It certainly won't mean no videos. It will just mean a different kind of videos. And that's one of the reasons I haven't done anything this week, because I just don't know what to do. But eventually it will become clear what kind of videos I can make and what I can't. And I'm certainly not going to stop making videos. I enjoy it too much. Apologies for glugging back my Coke, but need to. Will I tell you Anna's job if it's allowed? Probably not, because I don't want people to know, and she doesn't want people to know what she's doing. Am I going to post this as a video after I finish the live? Yes, it will stay up as a video. You can blur Anna's face out in the vlogs and Andy's videos. Realistically, I would throw back to you, what's the point of doing that? That's an incredible amount of work for a whole bunch of videos that have already got their views and made their money now. I'm not going to spend... it would take weeks to do that for all the videos we've got on this channel for very little reward. It just makes more sense just to remove them. How long do I think it'll take me to pack my office away? 2 hours? It's literally just putting it all in boxes. It's not that hard. Dan, thank you for the super chat. Tom, thank you for the super chat as well. I think I missed one in between there as well. Vertex Simulation and much more. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Kevin, there's a local steam railway in Leicester. Awesome. Sounds like that's a lot of fun. I remember, if you've got questions you want me to answer, make sure you @ Kevin Chapman, because they're the only ones I even try to read. I can't keep up with all of them, but they're certainly the only ones I'm even trying to read. Right. What will happen with my FM video income? Nothing. That channel won't be changed at all. It will just carry on. I tried to use your big potato code and it won't work. Why? And yes, I did it in caps. Because it was that code only existed for as long as we were ambassadors for them, and the ambassador contract ended. It wasn't renewed, and because of that, the discount code went. And we still work with them. They just don't pay me for it anymore. They're still sending me games for free, but I'm not actually under contract and being paid by Big Potato at the moment. So because of that, there's no discount code. Will you and Anna be getting the new consoles when they come out? We plan to. Maybe we won't, though, with the house move. It really depends if we've got any money left after we've moved house. It's a big if, because house moving is expensive. Right. How does my dad feel about me moving? Oh, I told him, but we're not really a how do you feel kind of family, which is just as well, because I can't have those kind of conversations. Leah, thank you for the super chat. Hope the new local authority will honour Andy's existing EHC. I'm sure they will, and if they don't, we'll just do a new one. I don't envisage it being too much of a problem. What will happen with Dave? That's a very good question. Hopefully, he'll come with us. But we are going to be renting. It's going to be a short-term lease, and it's something we're going to have to move on quite quickly. And I have put a few feelers out, and I sent like 20 emails 10 days ago, and every single one of them came back and said, yeah, we don't take pets. So if that becomes we literally can't find anywhere to live that will take pets, then plan B is he'll go and stay with the girls short-term. We're only planning to be renting for maybe 6 months. And then when we buy somewhere, we'll take him back. And so we'll just be with the girls for a little while, if he has to be. But that's not really ideal for anybody. So hopefully we find somewhere that takes animals. Right. Am I excited for the move? Yes. And how do you think Andy will cope with the move and transition to a new school? I think he'll be fine. He was fine last time. Right. Does the new job mean Anna can't be on video? We talked about that. Why have we talked about that? Do I think demand avoidant profile fits Andy better than anxiety? I think there's elements of both. Definitely elements of both. When we mention school, his initial response is fear. You can see he's afraid. But then he digs his heels in and refuses to cooperate. So I think there's parts of both. Will Andy still go to the same respite? No. He might not go to respite at all. Who knows? We haven't even looked into what kind of services there are in Leicestershire, but he certainly won't be getting any services under Lincolnshire anymore once we move. Could you see the channel going back to how it used to be with just me in my studio talking to camera? Maybe. That might be a solution. I mean, I could do a family day out and just not have Anna on camera. It's not that hard, because when you really think about it, even going somewhere like Disneyland, if we have a day in Disneyland, that video is going to have maybe 10 minutes of content filmed in the Disneyland parks out of an 8-hour day. I can pick 10 minutes of content, 10 minutes of footage that don't have Anna in the frame. It's not that difficult. So we can still do some stuff. What we won't be able to do is the stuff that heavily features Anna and heavily relies on Anna. And of course, that is all a maybe at the moment. Her employer might be fine with it. We went through all this a year ago when Lucy first started working for the NHS. We completely withdrew her off camera. She didn't know whether she was going to be allowed to do it or not. And then when she started, she asked, and they said, it's absolutely fine as long as you're positive about the NHS and as long as you don't bring the NHS into disrepute, as long as you're doing, as long as it's positive messaging and you're well behaved. It's good publicity for us. It shows a nice person working for us. It's good. So the NHS are absolutely fine with Lucy being in videos. So that's why she was then able to come back into videos again. And it's just the same kind of process we went through then. We're just playing it safe until Anna's in a position to ask. Now, she doesn't want to ask before she starts the job because we don't want to give them a reason not to give her the job. So we'll get her through the background checks. We'll get her started, and similar to what Lucy did, on her first day, she can say to her boss, by the way, is it okay if I'm quite active on social media and make some YouTube videos? And they'll either say yes or no. And at that point, we make a decision from there. Will Andy have to wear a mask in school? No. What did we do to celebrate Anna getting her new job? I don't even really know. I can't even remember what day it was. I was streaming at the time, I think. I'm pretty sure I was streaming and Anna came out here and told me. And then we kind of just celebrated by going straight on Rightmove and looking for houses. We can't really do takeaways at the moment because that's the other piece of news. I've been vegan for like the last 10 days. So takeaways aren't really an option for us at the moment because we live in the back end of nowhere and there's no way to get a vegan takeaway around here. So takeaways aren't really doable right now. Right, let's pick out a few more questions. Will the move affect Disney when we end up going? Only in so much as we can't afford to go right now. So when we originally had to cancel it the second time and booked to go to London, and I think we even said in some of the London videos, the plan is still, as soon as we're able to get back to France, we're going to go to Disney. We want to go. The plan now is probably, let's pencil that in for May. We haven't booked it for May, but I think realistically, even if we're able to go in like October half term, I think it would be pretty irresponsible to spend that amount. I mean, the holiday is paid for, but we have no spending money to take at the moment. It would be pretty irresponsible to take that money out of the house move budget and go and have a holiday with it when there's bigger stuff going on. So I think we probably put Disney on the back burner a little bit for a little while, pencil it in for May, probably book it in for May at some point when the dust settles a little bit and me and Anna can have that conversation. We haven't even talked about it, but I know we're certainly not going to be heading off to Disney in 2 weeks' time or anything like that, because we spent our spending money going to London and we spent it on that Airbnb. So we have to save up again to be able to go anyway, to make sure we've actually got food money and petrol money and Kevin buying stuffed toys money. Right, let's pick out a few more. I think you should do cooking with Kev. That might be something I end up doing, especially now I'm a salad muncher. I could do vegan recipes with Kev. What if the employer is a subscriber? Then hopefully they enjoyed the videos. How are Anna's driving lessons going? She's doing okay. I don't think she's going to be passing this week or next week, mainly because she's not got her test. But I'm hoping the ideal plan, this is the absolute perfect scenario. If this does drag on a little bit, if it gets to like December time and she still hasn't started and been given a start date, she'll probably have passed her driving test by then. And that takes the pressure off a little bit, because if she's passed her driving test before she's given her start date, she can drive over there for a little bit and we can take our time picking a house. We might go over there and buy straight away, because we can take a little bit more time and pick somewhere we really want and get Andy's and kind of do stuff in the right order. So that would be the perfect thing, but we can't bank on that happening because we don't know when she's going to get the start date come through. What made me go vegan? We talked about this on the Twitch stream last night. Google, why do people go vegan? Pick the first 5 reasons you find and apply each of them roughly a 20% weighting. And they're the reasons I went vegan. It's a little bit of all the normal reasons why people go vegan. Andrew Henry, welcome along as a new channel member. Wonderful stuff. Thank you for the support. Right. What else have we got on here? What would you change about your office in the new house? It would be indoors. It wouldn't be a garage. That's 1 second. I need to sneeze. Oh, that's the one thing I've said to Anna. I'm not that picky about where we live, but one thing I am going to dig my heels in on is we're going to have 1 extra bedroom. So we need a 4-bed minimum, because one of those rooms is going to be my office, and I'm going to have an office in the house, and I'm going to have a radiator and a door and a window, and it's going to be indoors and it's going to be beautiful. But other than that, I'd want a room roughly this size where I can pretty much replicate this setup. The setup that I've got, other than the fact it's in the garage, the setup I've got is perfect. This will do me for the next 5 years of YouTube. So if I can replicate this setup in a room in a house, absolutely perfect. Right. What's my favorite Marvel character? Hawkeye. I think the questions seem to be slowing down a little bit, at least relevant questions anyway. Am I thinking I'm going to be vegan forever? I've not put a time limit on it at the moment. I'm finding it quite easy. I'm not missing meat. The problem is Anna isn't enjoying it and has already decided she's not going to be vegan. And has in fact already started having bits of meat here and there again. And because I cook, I have to kind of accommodate for us both. So it might be that I can't be full vegan forever because it doesn't really work with Anna. Because she's gluten intolerant and lactose intolerant, it's even more restricted if she's then vegan as well. And she really doesn't like beans or tofu. So when you can't have wheat and gluten, lactose, animal products, tofu or beans, there's not a lot left you can eat. So it might be that we just long term end up cutting down a lot from where we were before. But I'm I'm definitely not. I could do it forever. I've done it for 10 days. I feel fantastic. I think I could just do. I think this could similar to how I just stopped drinking and never went back, and just stopped smoking and never went back. I think my brain is just in the right place at the moment to where my brain knows I don't eat animal products now, and I could do it forever because that's how my brain works. Do I think I'll be able to film a house tour? We'll film a house tour. I can't guarantee whether Anna will be in it, and that is all question marks at the moment. It's all up in the air. There will definitely be a house tour of the new place. There will definitely be videos from where we end up living. We will definitely keep you up to date with how Andy gets on with moving school, with how we get on with moving social workers and medical services, and how the move goes and how the new job is going. It's just the only question mark is, can Anna be in front of camera or not? It might be that she holds the camera and talks from behind it. There will be a solution. We just don't know what the solution is at the moment. And that's why I wanted to put this video out, or this stream, which is now magically a video. It's why I wanted to put this out, just so that you didn't think we'd just gone silent and gone away. That's not what's going on. We just don't really know what we can do at the moment. Croaky, thank you for the super chat. You've asked, how is Andy? Andy's fine. Not looking forward to going back to school on Monday, but other than that, he's fine. Will we still get to see Andy? Yeah, don't see why not. Unless he decides he doesn't want to be on camera. But there's no reason for him not to be on. I will congratulate Anna for the new job from everybody. Absolutely. For those of you just joining the stream, there's a lot of people asking the same questions, asking me why we're moving, why Anna can't be on camera. Watch the start of the video. I'm not going to go over it all again because it's all there. Just when we're done, go back and watch the start of the video. Can I do a vegan video, pros and cons? Probably. I might give it a month first and really settle into it, and then I'll do that. What I'm desperate not to become, I don't want to be a preachy vegan. So I've mentioned it now. I might make that video about it if I think I can do it in a way that doesn't seem preachy. But what I'm not going to do is make it something I talk about all the time, because that would annoy me watching. Does the stream last an hour? No, the stream's just as long as I feel like the stream is going to be. Which is it's probably, I think it's winding down now because I haven't seen a really new original question come in. Yeah, I can't see any new questions that I've not already answered coming in. So I think it might be time to wrap things up. Are you scared that Andy might refuse to go to school and Anna can't stay home? No. Because even if that happened, I work from home. It's not a big deal. We've got CCTV around the house now. So we've had that contingency plan set up anyway. As part of setting up the new security system on the exterior of the house, we've got cameras all throughout the inside of the house now as well. So I've got a monitor on my desk where I can look at any room in the house from here. So the plan was always, if we reached that scenario where Anna started work, but Andy wasn't at school, and it wasn't necessarily with school refusal in mind, it was more if the pandemic and the school closures go long term, the plan was going to be Andy could just be in the house doing whatever Andy wants to do. And I could just keep an eye on him from out here. He's 16. He doesn't need someone in the room with him at all time. So there is, talking of that, there's actually someone at my front door now, apparently. So I'm just going to seeing who that is and what they want. I hope it's not someone putting stuff in my skip. That would upset me greatly. So who is at my front door? Why are they there? One moment. I can do it from my phone as well. It's very fancy. Is there anybody there? Oh, it's dark outside. When did it get dark? No, there's nobody there. When I started streaming, it wasn't dark. That means I've been streaming too long, surely. No, the only car at the front is my car. So, oh no, it's not. What is this? There's a guy. Looks like there's a pizza guy out there. Or was out there, but he's walked off again. How strange. There you go. That was interesting for you all, I'm sure. Don't send me pizzas. Will Anna still be on the podcast? That's something I haven't really considered. I hadn't thought about. Short term, yes. because she's not really identifiable from it. She doesn't use her full name. Her face isn't on there. I think it's probably fine for her to be on the podcast. But again, if they say no, then no. Did I get the Avengers game? I didn't. Anna did. She's been playing it this afternoon. I've had a little look. I'm not that interested in it by the looks of it. Yeah, I think we've just about covered it. Oh, there you go. CAMHS says, have you played the new Avengers game? I haven't, but I'm probably not going to because it doesn't look like I'd enjoy it. And I haven't got time to play games anyway. Wouldn't Andy try to peek in my room if it's in my house? He could peek in, but he isn't coming in. I'll just have to put a lock on the door, I guess, to keep him out. Which sounds awful, but it is important that when I'm streaming, when I'm making videos, that nobody can just burst in. So we'll figure something out. We'll just put a sign on the door saying no Andy. The girls have had that on their bedroom door for 8 years, and he's not gone in there because he knows if the sign on the door says no Andy, he doesn't go in there. So he respects signs and things. You always said you wouldn't buy a house, so what's changed? I never said I wouldn't buy a house. I said it wasn't right for us to buy a house at that point. Without wanting to go into loads of detail about when you should and shouldn't buy a house, the reason it was never right for us to buy a house here is because we knew we weren't going to be here long term. And if you're not going to stay, when you buy a house, in order for it to be, I think the finances of it, unless you're going to be in a house for 7 years or more, you're financially better off to rent. And we knew we wouldn't be here 7 years or more. So we knew we were going to be leaving. Whereas once we moved to our new place, that's where we're moving to live and to stay in. So at that point, we can buy a house. I'm not desperate to. Like I've always said, I'm not bothered one way or the other. But it sometimes works out a little bit cheaper. It means we don't have the hassle about Dave. It means I can properly soundproof a room. So there are perks to doing it. Right, I think we're probably going to wrap the stream up there. I'm just scanning through to see if there's any more good questions, but I think we've covered just about everything else. So if you've got a burning relevant question that I haven't answered yet, chances are I answered it earlier on in the stream before you got here. So you can just go and check that out when we're done. But I don't want this to be so long that people don't click on it. Because I want people to be able to click on it as like a channel update kind of thing as well. So hopefully I answered everybody's questions. It's clear now why there was no vlog this week, why there won't be one next week. I hope everybody understands there will be videos when I can release videos, and they'll be in the style that I can do. And we will figure it, similar to what we're hearing about everything else in the world at the moment, we will figure out a new normal for the channel. And as with every change we've ever done in the past, we'll end up better for it, I'm sure. And it's the best thing for our family, for Anna to be able to finally get the job that she's been working towards for the last 12 years, going through various levels of college and university and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a long road for Anna, so she deserves to have a job at the end of it. So I'm certainly not going to stand in the way of that by going, but my vlog, I really want to keep my vlog. Because bottom line, it's just a hobby. And it's a hobby that we can fit around both of our real jobs. But we are going to wrap the video up there. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure you leave a thumbs up on the way out. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on, because now we're not on a schedule for a little while. You're going to want those notifications when videos do drop so you don't miss out on them. Keep an eye on all my social media for updates and clues on when videos are going to be coming. Likewise with the Discord, that's a good place to check in and see what's going on. But we will wrap things up there. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I will speak to you all again very, very soon. If you want more live stream stuff, Twitch is the answer for you. I stream on Twitch 4 nights a week. So I'll be live on there at 8 o'clock on Sunday. So if you have a question that comes to you in 10 minutes time, just come in the Twitch stream on Sunday and ask me. That's fine. But for now, toodle pip, folks. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.